All right. Hey guys, thanks for hopping on. Happy Monday. It's so good to be back here with you guys. I've had a very, very full couple of weeks and I just love always being back here with you. So I just wanted to say welcome. We've got a couple more people hopping in and I am keeping an eye on the waiting room. So if anybody sees somebody in the waiting room, get a message, just post in the chat and I will let them in. So anyway, it is the end of the month. We are going to keep this short and sweet, like I said, but I've got some good content for you guys. So make sure you grab a pen and a piece of paper. I just wanted to shout out just a couple of people who have been rocking and rolling and grabbing these $100 loyal customer bonuses. You guys, I think that this is by far the best promotion that the company has ever done, because in 1 week you can enroll 5 customers and earn an extra $100 bonus on top of your commissions. Now, I don't know about you, but $400 is a lot in my house. And when I first got started, $400 was what I needed. I started for $400 to $500 a month just so I could stay home with my little girl and be able to pay off some credit card debt. And this gives you the opportunity every single week to earn an extra $100 plus your commissions, which means you're going to be getting a really nice paycheck. So if you're excited about these $100 bonuses, you guys drop a 1 in the chat or drop a 100 in the chat because I'm super pumped about these. So really quickly, 2 weeks ago, I just wanted to shout out our top enrollers. So Dakota Case, she's a double diamond, you guys. She enrolled 7 loyal customers. Marie Jones, she's one of my diamond leaders. She enrolled 6 loyal customers. And by the way, congratulations, Marie, on having a new baby just 2 days ago. Montana Long, triple diamond, you guys, enrolled 5 customers. Kelsey Erickson, diamond leader, 5 customers. And Tanya, I can't say her last name, I always butcher it. I can't even say it. Tanya enrolled 5 customers, you guys, and Tanya is just a distributor level, and she is the only person who's not a diamond leader who enrolled 5 customers in a week and earned those $100 bonuses. Now, I am just super proud of my, my diamond leaders for leading from the front, but these really are available to every single one of you. Now, that was 2 weeks ago, so this last week, you guys, these are our top enrollers. Kelsey Erickson, again, she's a diamond leader. She enrolled 9 customers. Yours truly, I enrolled 6 loyal customers. You guys, I was 1 customer short the week before, so I was really excited to get that $100 bonus. And I'm out there working right along with you guys. And Amanda Battles actually enrolled 5 customers under her husband's account. You guys, not only got her $100 bonus, but earned her shopping spree. So just absolutely incredible. I'm so proud of you, Amanda. You're absolutely doing amazing. So I also wanted to say congratulations to Alicia Smith. You guys, she just got married, and while she was over in Yellowstone National Park doing her wedding, she was literally enrolling customers and taking care of her team. So just super congratulations to Alicia on your wedding and Marie on your new baby. Oh my goodness, we just have so many good things going on right now. So I wanted to remind you guys that right now from June 26th to July 2nd, we have the opportunity to earn another $100 bonus. So just make sure that you are getting your host to post up, you're doing your product posts, you're doing your lifestyle posts, you're following up with potentials, you're reaching out and asking people, because really it's in the ask that you are going to get the majority of your customers, you guys. And I know I'm always willing to do a favor for a friend. So for instance, if I have a friend that reaches out to me and they're like, hey, Noelle, I am 15 mascaras away from a promotion. Would you support me? Absolutely. I'll buy 1, I'll buy 2, because I know I'm going to need some mascara anyway, right? And I'm always willing to support a friend. And so if you guys are, just put yourself in that headspace of, my friends want to support me. You are going to grow your business so much quicker. And actually tonight, we are going to go over how the best leaders think. And we're going to do a multi-part series just on this topic. But I wanted to give you just some really just some short content. So I really wanted to give you some content on how the best leaders think, because I know that if you guys can learn not necessarily what the best leaders do, but what the best leaders think, then all of you are going to become individual, self-sufficient business owners who are going to be growing a massive organization. So that is where I want all of your heads to be tonight. So Now, you may be thinking like, Noelle, I'm not a leader, okay? Oh, let me keep an eye on, sorry, you guys, I'm just trying to keep an eye on this chat right here. So you might be thinking like, Noelle, I'm not a leader. But leadership at its core is just influence. So if you are a friend, you're a leader because you have influence over your other friends. If you work with people, whether it's here or whether it's at a 9-to-5 job, you have influence. If you lead a small group, you have influence. If you have children, you have influence. Now, those of you who have teenagers, your kids might be less influenced by you at the moment, but that will come back around. Those of you who have young kids like me, your kids are still highly influenced by you, right? So all of you are a leader in some way, shape, or form. You don't have to have a huge organization or a huge platform or a booming social media in order to be a leader, in order to be an influencer. So this is the most important thing, though. I want you to remember how you think will determine what you become, and how you think will determine how you lead. So that's really, really important, because this doesn't just go back to your leadership skills. This goes back to your life. How you think will determine what you become. So drop a 2 in the chat if you know someone who is like negative Nancy, and every time you talk to them, something's going wrong, something else has broken, they got their credit card compromised, like all the things, and they're just like a negative Nancy through and through, but their life is going nowhere good. Like, not just that they're a negative Nancy, but that they are a negative Nancy and they are just struggling. They are on the struggle bus of life. They are on the struggle bus of finances, of their marriage, of their children, of their relationships, of their job, like all the things. And it's like, we have the power to control that. You have the power to control that yourself. And it's just really interesting if you start to take a survey of the people around you and how they live their life, what their thought process is, what the words that come out of their mouth, and then the direct correlation to what their life looks like. It's really uncanny. And you're going to start to think, wow, like that really is very, very real. And I want you guys to know that you have the power to completely direct your life. So this is what I want you to think right now. I don't want you to ask, what do other leaders do? But I want you to ask, what do other leaders think? Okay, that is the most important question. Not what do they do, but what do they think? And so here's 3 suggestions to change the way you think as a leader. Okay, so number 1 is I want you to find a leader that is several steps ahead of you. Okay, not just 1 or 2 steps. I want you to find a leader that is several steps ahead of you, okay? And so I call this is looking for the gift of disorientation. So for instance, when I'm around someone who has like 10 times the income that I have, or who has 10 times the investments that I have, or who has 10 times the size of their organization that I have, like they are so far ahead of me that it disorients me to the point where like I don't even know what questions to ask. So this is a great example. Last summer, I spent some time with Pam Souter, like literally. And so this is one of the things that I've always learned, is that he who has not, or he who asks not, has not. Okay. So I've always just been the person that I've always asked. Like when I went to my very first It Works event, I started the business the end of February, and I went to my very first It Works event that July, and I got to meet Tina Hatcliffe and Maria Napoli and Melody McFarlane and Chad Kneller and like all these people that were like celebrities in my mind. And I was there as a brand new double diamond, brand new in the business. I'd only been in the business a couple months. I was a brand new double diamond. And I was going to meet these people that were celebrity status, had been in the business for some of them just a couple of years. But I mean, we're talking Melody McFarlane. I think at that time she had been in the business like 8 years. She was the very first triple diamond, very first presidential diamond, very first ambassador diamond in the company. She's our upline, but she, you guys, is a celebrity. And so when I got to meet them at this event, I could have chosen to be a little bit intimidated by the fact that they are massively successful, so far ahead of me, and total rock stars in the business. But instead, I was like, hi, I'm Noelle Cruz. You need to know who I am. And by the way, can we be friends on Facebook and can I have your phone number? And they were like, yes, of course. Because you guys, if any of you like brand new in the business were to come to me being like, oh my gosh, Noelle's been in the business for almost a decade and she's a top money earner, she's a top leader, and I could never talk to her, I would totally give you my personal cell phone number. And I would be like, yes, call me, text me anytime, right? Like, how many of you guys know that? Those of you who know me well are like, yeah, Noelle's like my homegirl, right? But those of you who don't know me, you might be like, oh, it's a little bit weird, but you have not because you ask not. And so a couple summers ago, last summer, it was May 2020, I was going to be in Sarasota. So I called up Pam Souter and I was like, hey, can I spend the day with you? Guess what she said, you guys? She said yes. Now, she knew me, but I got to do that with her because I asked. And when I was in her presence, you guys, I didn't even know what questions to ask because Pam is so far ahead of me in wisdom and in finances and in life and in just all the things that was what I call the gift of disorientation, where I was with her and I was like, I literally am so disoriented. I don't even know what to ask. And I just basked in her presence and that was great. But that's one of the tips is I want you to find a leader that is several steps ahead of you. Okay. So if you're a distributor, I want you like following a diamond plus. If you're a diamond, I want you following a triple presidential ambassador, right? So if I want you guys following somebody who's several steps ahead of you. And it's one of those people that you would be like, if I just sat in their presence, I would be able to like absorb some of their goodness. But the reason that I don't want you to follow somebody who's like just one step ahead of you or two steps ahead of you is because their activities are probably going to look a little bit similar to yours right now. I want you to find somebody that is like so far advanced ahead of you that whenever you talk to them, you develop some wisdom, right? You grow, it stretches you, it challenges you. And that's one of the things that's going to be really, really important because it's going to challenge your thinking and it's just going to challenge your personal capacity to lead, okay? So the second thing I want you to do is I want you to watch for where you push back the most. So for instance, some of the things that we're talking about tonight, you might find yourself saying, yeah, that doesn't apply to me, or I disagree with that. And that's okay. But whenever I find myself disagreeing, that's often a cue to pay very close attention. So at whatever point you disagree the strongest, that often indicates where you have the most to learn. And I know that, I've always been taught, my mentor taught me that you want to be learning always. If you're not growing, you're dying. So that's really, really important. So whenever I say, no, that's not true, or you're wrong, that often indicates that I don't have the context to know what someone's talking about. So that's often an opportunity for me to take a step back and be like, okay, what do I have to learn here? Because where you disagree the strongest often indicates that you have the most to learn. So I just want you to, if you ever hear something that you're like, that doesn't apply to me, I want you to kind of make note of that. I want you to write it down, and then I want you to dig into that a little bit more. Okay, so so obviously we went over, I want you to find a leader that's several steps ahead of you. I want you to watch for where you push back the most so that you can learn and grow through those experiences. And then the third thing is I want you to be willing to be wrong. Okay. Sorry, we've got more people joining. So personally, the biggest areas of growth in my leadership didn't come from getting better where I was already right. It came from recognizing the areas where I was wrong. So for instance, I used to think you have to have made it in order to tell a good story, right? Like drop a 3, I think we're on 3. Drop a 3 in the chat if you have ever thought, I can't tell my story because I don't have a good story to tell. Like, I can't tell my story yet because I don't have success, right? That's something that I used to think. I used to think, well, I can't tell a good story because I haven't arrived. And really, like, what is that? Like at what rank have you arrived, right? At what income have you arrived? I still don't even know, you guys. So that is something that I used to think. Another thing that I used to think that was wrong was the best leaders do more that they're always busy, they're engaged in everything, they know the details about all sorts of things going on in their team, they're micromanagers, like they do everything. That's not true. I've discovered that as a leader, your importance isn't based on how much you do, but on how much what you do matters. So I want you to think about that for yourself. It doesn't matter how much you do. It matters how much you do, how much that matters. So I used to think, another thing I used to think is I have to be a mass enroller to grow my paycheck significantly. And I know now that doing my steps to success and just helping those 3 new distributors learn how to do their steps to success is ultimately the thing that's going to grow my business long term. That's not just going to grow it consistently, but that's going to grow it to be solid. Because what happens is if I'm always a mass enroller, then every single day, every single week, every single month in my business, I'm responsible to continue to be a mass enroller, because ultimately I'm not teaching any duplication within my team. So what happens when everybody on my team quits? What happens when I want to go on a week-long vacation? Well, my check is going to drop instead of growing because I haven't taught my team to do what I'm doing. You don't have to be a mass enroller to grow your check. You have to teach duplication. What you do have to do is you have to mentor people. You have to teach them to enroll their 6 customers, enroll 3 distributors, teach those distributors to enroll 6 customers, enroll 3 distributors. Like that is literally all we do, you guys, is put people into the computer and then teach those people to put people into the computer. How many of you have overcomplicated that? Just drop a me in the chat if you've ever overcomplicated that, if that was kind of like a light bulb moment for you where you're like, oh my gosh, that's really all we do, is enroll 6 customers and then enroll 3 distributors and then teach those 3 distributors to enroll 6 customers and enroll 3 distributors. You guys, that's literally all we do. And so that's one thing that I used to think. I had that misconception and it was absolutely wrong. So I really just want to challenge you. You guys, the best leaders think differently from the rest. You're moving in the direction of your strongest thoughts every single day. So I want you to think about, what are you thinking about? Because your organization is a reflection of your thought process. So if your team is not growing, that's a reflection of you. If customers are not sticking with you, that's a reflection of you. Does this all make sense? Okay, we're gonna do 5 minutes of like just popcorn Q&A, and then we're gonna hop off. I told you want this to be super short and sweet, you guys, because it's the end of the month, and I want you guys to be able to focus. I want you to be able to get some stuff done. There's an awesome power hour coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern that I want all of you guys to hop on as well. But I want to do some Q&A. So any question you guys have, drop it in the chat right now. I'm going to be here to answer those for you guys, and then we're going to wrap up our night. And we're going to be back for more. I actually want to tell you guys kind of what, like, just before we do Q&A, things we're going to talk about in the future. Surrounding the same topic about how you think, we're going to learn how to think empowerment and not control. We're going to learn how to think investment and not spending. We're going to learn how to think possibilities, not problems. And then we're going to learn how to think inspiration, not motivation. Because you need to know that you cannot motivate your team. You can only inspire them, but we will get into that. So does anybody have any questions? Anybody at all? There's no bad question. It can be product related, business building related, retention related, leadership related, anything, you guys. I am here for you. Anything and everything. Just drop it in the chat. Yes. Jessica, are you open to having the conversation here? No? Okay. You can totally message me later and we will chat privately. Now, I will tell you guys, if you have any questions that are not like super, super personal, whenever you can ask them for the whole team, there's probably like 5 other people who have the same issue. So anything it is, like, that's definitely something, if you're willing to share. Okay. Kelsey says, I'm struggling with helping my team enroll and I can't get them out of their networks. Okay. So that is one of the issues with, like we always say, when you join the business, you're either rewarded for the network that you had before you came in, or you're punished for the network that you had before you came in, right? So sometimes that just takes a ton of work. And if host to posts are not working for them to get out of their current network, what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to find, so one of the ways that I like to grow my network without doing host to post is to go to places that I know, like locally, like for instance, a local boutique or a local restaurant that I would frequent, or a local salon or something like that. And I will go to their Facebook page, or I will go to their Instagram and make sure that they've posted something that's recent, like in the last week. And I will engage with the people. I will friend request the people who have engaged with that post, because what that tells me is that those people are also a fan of that salon, restaurant, spa, whatever, and that they're online. So two things that are important to me: one, they're my type of person, and two, they're online. And then you're sending out those random friend requests. Now, what's also really important is to make sure that the content that is on your page that's visible to people who are not your friend is good content. You want them to see a lot of you as a human. You don't want them to see product posts. You want them to see your pretty profile picture. You want them to see your pretty cover photo. You want them to see just you as a human. You don't want them to see you as a network marketer. And so it's really important, again, that you don't have obviously that you are with It Works in your profile, right? So if you have any questions about what your profile should look like, you can head over to my page and just take a look at it. And anything that I would have on there, you would want to copy. Anything that I do not have on there, you would not want to have on there for yourself. Okay. Jessica says, I'm struggling with getting customers and enrolling. A bunch of people are saying it's a scam and pyramid scheme and keep getting shut down. Guess the question is how to overcome that and how to not keep getting my heart feel let down. Okay. So one of the things that I've learned over the years is that if people are consistently asking you, and I mean like consistently, so I'm going to use the number 100 because that's just a nice round number. So let's say you talk to 100 people in a week and 50% of those people say, this is a pyramid scheme, this is a scam. What that tells me is that you're transferring a belief to them in some way, shape, or form. So you might not think that you think that this is a scam, and you might not think that you think that this is a pyramid scheme, but this is just from years of experience, and you guys can ask other leaders this as well, but typically it comes back to you in some part of your brain feel like this is a scam. You might feel like this is a pyramid scheme. And if you don't, you could just be in some really, really bad networks. So this is what you do if that's, and whether you have that in your subconscious or not, you have to learn how to approach this, because the more confident you are in your conversations, the quicker people are going to change their minds, or not even change their mind, but respect you. Okay. So if somebody comes to me and they say, well, that's just a pyramid scheme, my question to them is going to be, what, well, I'm trying to think what I would say. I've said a lot of things over the years, but if somebody comes to me and specifically regarding the business, they think that this is a pyramid scheme, I always say, you have a story there. What happened? Okay. Now, the reason I tell them, I say, you've got a story, tell me what happened, is because either it was their bad experience with a company in the past where they weren't treated well, or they were, have you ever had somebody try to recruit you into a business and they're like, you don't have to invest anything and you don't have to pay, you don't have to put any time into it. You're going to make $10,000 a month, right? That is false advertising. That is not reality. So at some point in time, they could have been burned by somebody like that. But oftentimes it's like a second uncle, like whatever, that they're like, oh, well, they said that this was a pyramid scheme because they had a bad experience once upon a time. And so you have to find out what that story is. And I always just ask them questions, right? So like, let's find out, what is their story? What happened to them? And then oftentimes it comes down to, well, I was in a business in the past and it didn't work. So then if that's the case, my question is, okay, well, how much money were you wanting to make in that business? And let's say they say, I wanted to make $1,000 a month. Okay, did you work your business diligently daily with the appropriate amount of hours and activity in order to build up to $1,000 a month? 100% of the time, the answer is no. Okay, so is the industry a scam, or did you not just give your previous business enough time and effort? I didn't give my business enough time and effort. So do you think that if you found the right product and the right opportunity, you would be willing to give the industry a try again? Yeah, I would. Guess what? Now you've got a great distributor, because you know, like when you have a previous, when somebody was previously in another company, they're always your best potential distributors, because you know that they're open to network marketing. Okay, but you have to have those questions with them. And when somebody says this is a pyramid scheme or this is a scam, I'm never going to get defensive, because as soon as I get defensive, that's showing them that I have a reason to be defensive, because maybe they hit something that's true. Because this is not a pyramid scheme, this is not a scam, I'm not going to get defensive. I'm going to figure out, why do they think that way? So if somebody who is a potential customer is saying, this is a pyramid scheme, this is a scam, I'm going to say, do you shop online? Well, yeah, I shop online. Okay, well, this is online shopping. The only difference between me and you shopping at Amazon is that you're supporting my individual family and not a big box store. So I would love your business if you'd be interested in learning more about my products. That's it. Like people, and I mean, just for you guys to kind of wrap your brain around what business models look like, every single business in the whole entire world is structured like a pyramid. Every single one. I don't care if it's Girl Scouts. I don't care if it's a church. It's all structured like a pyramid, right? So if you think about and so when you could challenge somebody and just ask them, like, why? Like really the question you want to ask somebody is why? Why do you think that? And then they have to dig deep down into their brain and think, why do I think that? And usually it's just something stupid that somebody who was not intelligent told them earlier in their life, and it stuck with them. And they use it as a defense mechanism to potentially fend off online marketers. Really, it could be the opportunity that changes their life. Okay. We're going to take one more question, then we're going to wrap this up. So Amanda says, I have a few people who are definitely interested in joining and will make posts for me often, but ignore me when we talk about the business, but will then make another post. How do I fix it? So just be consistent with them. Every time they post for you, just be like, and this is the thing, Amanda, when those people post for you, when you're getting ready to sign customers, you go back to them and you're like, girlfriend, I'm about to sign up a customer from your post. You know, this person could be yours instead of mine, and you could be making this money. Every single time, just follow up with them. Keep following up with them, because they're going to ignore you and ignore you and ignore you, and you're just going to keep making money on their friends, and you're going to follow up with them again, and just keep doing what you're doing. And if when they're ready, they're going to join you. But most people are going to watch you for a while to see, one, how successful you're going to be, and two, if you're going to stick with it. So that's the biggest thing, is the majority of distributors are going to quit in the first 90 days. So their friends, your guys' friends, if you're new, your friends are just waiting for you to quit, by the way. Okay? So if you're like, none of my friends support me. You guys, my mother-in-law didn't become a customer until I'd been in business for 3 years. 3 years. Okay? I was a presidential diamond, top earner, 3 years. And then I wrapped her, and it did amazing things for her body. And then she had the audacity to tell me that it didn't work. And I was like, I just can't even. Okay? You're not going to get support from your friends and family most of the time. That's why we're going to find new people who align with your beliefs and your hopes and your dreams. And you're going to work with those people. Okay? All right. You guys were awesome tonight. Stay tuned for next week as we dig into more on how leaders think. But I want to challenge you this week, you guys, to not only do the things that leaders do, which is your KPI, by the way, but I want to challenge you to think about, how do leaders think? And one of the things that as a new distributor, I think is the hardest shift for changing your mindset is you constantly have to be thinking, what am I going to do for my business today? And that's a hard thing to keep in your brain, because it's not going to be natural. You have to train yourself to be disciplined, to think, what am I going to do for my business today? I'm going to get up. What am I going to do for my business? I made my coffee. What am I going to do now? Right? It's a mindset thing. So make the shift. And as you make your mental shift, your business is going to grow. All right. So I will see you guys here next week. And I want you to hop on this power hour in 30 minutes. Bye, guys.